Have you ever wanted to know what the top 1% of e-commerce brands are doing that you're not leveraging in order to get you to 7 and 8 figures? Well, in this video, I'm going to break down as an 8-figure founder how we've been able to generate 8 figures in revenue over the years and share with you a few things that we're doing strategically and tactically that aren't really talked about a lot online. Now, I'm going to go into depth about my experiences with this and how we've been able to scale successfully to over $350,000 a month. We've been able to do several $1,000,000 over the years, and we've learned a thing or two about how to differentiate yourself from the competition. And I want to share my 5 key scaling strategies that you can take away and implement today in order to help you grow and scale your business right now. So without further ado, let's jump into my computer and break down the first scaling strategy. I promise in today's video, there are going to be some very, very juicy bits of information that will help you learn how you can scale your business that you probably haven't heard before, and actually back those up with results. And I'll be showing you some of those here in this video. So let's start with kind of the context here. So I built a brand called Gamenetics with my brother, and it's a custom controller company. So we customize products on a PlayStation or Xbox controller. And one of the big things that we focused on was the unboxing experience. So just the details, here and showcasing our brand is just to show you a little bit about like how we actually did it and what we did in order to achieve this, because that really was the foundation behind how we got to where we are. And we'll be talking a little bit about that as well and diving into some of these results. So let's start with number 1. Okay. Now this number 1 is something that you may see it and you may think, well, yeah, I know about that. I've tried this before, but I don't know if it's going to work. I'm going to go into a bit more detail about this because we've had specific experience with this first one that most people kind of stay pretty surface level on. And we've kind of, our business exploded because of this specific thing and this platform. So TikTok ads. So TikTok ads is one of those things that if you haven't figured out how to use it, then there's something that you're missing about the success of the platform, because TikTok ads and TikTok as a whole has been instrumental in helping us to not only generate infinite amounts of content for our brand, but also be able to acquire cheap attention, right? TikTok is a platform that has the cheapest attention, and especially now with the introduction of TikTok Shop. And if you're not having your products on that platform where creators can either sell live or make videos around your products and earn a commission, then you are missing out on a huge, huge opportunity right now. It's one of the biggest things, I would say, in the e-commerce space that you should be putting more of your attention to. Now, if you have already put your attention there and you haven't been able to figure it out, then let me share kind of some golden nuggets with you here that will help you kind of identify what you can do to start implementing or start testing more with your brand. Now, I would say that TikTok is, and TikTok Shop specifically, is probably an opportunity that is bigger than when Amazon was getting started in like 2006. When Amazon FBA was getting started and people were becoming more familiar with it, that is the equivalent of what TikTok Shop is today. And statistically, the TikTok Shop platform has been growing faster than Amazon, which is kind of insane to say, right? So like, there's a lot of merit there. There's been a lot of uncertainty about the TikTok Shop ban, but the platform has continued to stay around. I mean, what are we at this point? 3 extensions that we've had on the platform. So don't be afraid to invest some of your time into TikTok Shop and learning this. So let me show you a little bit of the results that we've been able to generate with TikTok Shop. $600,000 in gross sales, about 546K in GMV. Here's some of the ads that we've been able to run on TikTok as well. You can see kind of the cost here on the left, the payment completion on the ROAS here in the middle column, and then payment completion value over here towards the right. At around 5 ROAS, spent 130 grand, generated 653,000. This was back before TikTok Shop actually came around. And what we were doing was we were making about, I would say 5 to 6 TikTok styled videos. So when I say TikTok styled, one of the most important things that you need to focus on in your content as a brand is, 1, decide you need to make brand content, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But 2, you really want to be authentic. You don't want to sound salesy. You don't want to sound like you're making a commercial. You want to be able to fit in with the current social platform that you're running ads on. And so that's why a lot of people will use UGC creators. A lot of people will use affiliates, because that is the way that you scale, is being authentic and people feeling that from your brand. And so we are running ads here that were very authentic. And I think that's why we get such a high return, as well as the unboxing experience that we provided was all centered around like that wow factor. So if you've got very generic packaging, if you've got a generic product, another pro tip is like the product and the unboxing experience is a crucial part of being able to grow with content as well. So what we were doing here is we were just sending people to our website to purchase. And so in the very early days of content, we were actually just making content on our TikTok page and just posting, behind the scenes content of the products. We were showing orders being shipped out. I wish I had one here I could show you, but you can kind of show, I'm sure you guys have seen a video where someone's unboxed or packaged a product for a customer and telling people like, hey, this is what they ordered. They got this and this and this, and they packaged it in an order and they shipped it out, right? That is a way where you can be transparent and be authentic to the people who may want to buy from you, because they may see something that someone else bought and they may be like, hey, I want to buy that too. Or, hey, I want to buy this, and maybe they make a video on my product, right? So there's so many psychological things as well that play into this, but the TikTok platform was built so well for this experience for customers and for consumers in order to kind of feel that authenticity and like lead them to discovering a product that they're going to end up purchasing. So in this phase of the business, like this was very early on back in 2021, 2021, 2022, 2023. A lot of this was focused on ads. And then, later on became TikTok Shop, which became, a much powerful mechanism for getting sales, because they didn't have to leave the platform anymore, right? So yeah, just show you guys a little bit of those results over the last couple of years. We've done about $2.8 million in sales on Shopify. We've been around a lot longer than that. We've got sales happening on other platforms like eBay, Etsy, and Amazon. We've done about $10 million to date. We started the company in 2015. So it's been around quite a while, but we didn't get on Shopify, I think, until 2022. Beginning of 2022, which is around the time we really got into TikTok, which is where we kind of exploded. So yeah, that is really kind of tip number one. I would say, like, in conclusion on using TikTok ads, don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the platform. And I would say if you were to take a segment of what you should focus on here, it would be TikTok Shop. And if you have creator community, if you have people that already make content for you, utilize them on TikTok to promote your products, and then use ad spend using a campaign called the GMV Max campaign to push that affiliate content out to more and more people through the platform. So do some, digging. I don't have all the time to go into like specifically how to do this. If you guys would want a video on that, just let me know in the comments if you'd like a breakdown of how to actually utilize this for your brand, and we can maybe make a future video on this. But at a very high level, I want you to focus in on TikTok, because it's a huge, huge opportunity. Most brands are just thinking, it's a platform for young people. It's a platform that's moved on. It's not new enough now. There's not really a lot for me. There's a lot here for you if you really know what you're doing. So, scaling secret number 2. This ties in a little bit with what we've just talked about, but I'll go a little bit deeper here, because I think a lot of brands underutilize this and think that it's not important, and I'll explain why it's important and show you why it's important. Is brand content. Most brands dismiss the idea that they should be making content for their brand pages, and oftentimes will sacrifice the quality and authenticity of making content for their brand because it's not important enough. And I'm here to tell you that one of the most important things that we did for our company was that we focused on making content around the business. And if you don't adopt this and you want to become a big brand online, which these days retail's dead, right? Retail is not going to be around, forever. And you want to grow in the e-commerce realm, which is the digital landscape, you have to be present online, and you have to make content that's relevant that people actually want to watch. So you have to learn how to do this well. And so if this means hiring someone in-house to make video content for you, to film behind the scenes, showing customer orders and being transparent, yes, you may feel afraid to do it, but it is the thing that will help you stand out amongst your competition. Because if your competition isn't doing it, then you've instantly got a competitive edge if you decide to make content. And you don't even need to have fancy equipment. You don't need to have cameras. You only need to have your phone, because using your phone to record content in a very authentic way, it doesn't need to be fully smooth. It just needs to feel natural. That's what people want these days anyway. They just want customers and consumers, they just want brands to feel authentic. They just want to be able to connect with brands. It's becoming more and more important in today's world that customers and consumers can connect with brands and feel that they care about them. That's how you do it, brand content. And to the extent that we've gone to really focus on brand content, we doubled down on this. We built a content studio. We started filming content in-house. We hired an editor. We started making content regularly. We started doing in-house live streams on TikTok as well. And this really exploded our brand. So if you have a look over here, this is kind of what happened. Is before, we started running ads, and before, we really started leaning into advertising a lot heavier, this was happening in the background, right? We were making video content on TikTok that were getting 46 million views in 30 days, 750,000 profile views, 46,000 comments, 120K shares. Do you know how big that is for your brand? Do you know how much you would have to pay advertising wise to reach that many people? It'd be a lot. It'd be a lot of freaking money. So it's like, in the beginning, it's always hard to do brand content because you're always stretched thin, right? As a founder and as a small company, whether you're doing 6 or 7 figures, usually your team is pretty lean, right? And so it feels that it's hard to start in the beginning because you don't normally see quick return on that investment. You've got to kind of stick with it for the long haul. So I recommend that if you're going to make content and be authentic, you can either find someone who's more comfortable in social media. Maybe it's a younger person in your company that's willing to make content and film things behind the scenes, film orders being shipped out, film the packaging of customer orders so you can showcase the transparency and show behind the scenes. People like that stuff. Don't think it's not cool, because it's cool. People like to see that. So lean into that a little bit more, and the compounding effect will take place. You have to just commit to do it at a cadence that you're able to do it at. And that is the most important thing. As long as you've got an eye on content in some degree, where it doesn't have to be crazy over the top, right? Just an eye on content and making content on a regular basis. So this month we gained 116,000 followers. I mean, it's stupid, And we've been able to kind of take that success and, have orders come in just from organic content. And what we've done is we've actually repurposed all this content over to YouTube. And you can see here that, I've got a little notification here in my screenshot, but you can see here we made $68,000 just off YouTube AdSense from literally taking our TikTok videos, making authentic videos and understanding how to make content that resonates and just reposting them on YouTube Shorts. We've gained 836,000 subscribers, 435 million views. We've done, between all of our accounts, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, content on TikTok, we've done close to 2 billion views with a B. And so the amount of reach that we've been able to acquire in such a short time is crazy. So again, I say that if you aren't making brand content to some capacity, you don't have to, generating 100 million views, but any views, even tens of thousands, is a lot of people that get eyeballs on your brand and become more familiar, and it grows over time. So $68,000 just from the AdSense, right? That's not even the revenue from the business. And, you can see here last 48 hours, 1.1 million views, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane what content can do for your brand. So, whatever limiting beliefs you may have about, brand content and making content for your brand, just start somewhere, find someone in your company that knows how to do it, and let them kind of take the reins. Give them that responsibility, or just commit to doing it. You don't need to over edit it. You just need to film it. It can be really simple. I could just, film a video. I'll just do it raw with you guys, right? A video that you could create right now, if I take my phone, is I can literally hit camera, go to video, and let's say I was this is my product, right? This right here. Let me just do a mock video for you here. So let's just say I'm holding the camera, right? And I'm packaging an order. So I might hit record. Hey guys, so this customer, Joseph here, he just ordered these new purple AirPod Maxes, and he's currently going to be getting them shipped out today. We're just packaging them up for him. Great choice, by the way. A lot of people have been going with this color recently, so we're going to package this up for him and send them on out. If you guys want any different colors, we have green, black, orange, yellow, but definitely check them out here on the store. So like an example like that, I know that was kind of a little clunky, but like, I wouldn't have to edit that video. I could just post it as is. That's it. Like, you don't have to overthink this. That's where you start, because if you start there and that's all you have the time for, that's fine. That's going to allow you to be able to continue to evolve and get better and better and better over time. That's how everyone starts. That's how it always starts. So hopefully that drove home the point of like focusing on brand content. Very, very important. So let's talk about scaling secret number 3. Experience. So, in everything that I've done over the years, I have found that one of the most impactful parts of your ability to scale, when I compare brands who can scale and brands that can't scale, there's a few reasons for this, but one of the core reasons is the experience. And the experience fits into many different facets of the company, right? There's the customer experience. There's the unboxing experience. There's the experience from when they order to when they receive it. There's the experience of them first learning about you to then adding to cart, right? There's these experiences that you have with your customers and potential customers that make them feel a certain way that then compel them to either take action or not take action. And so when you think about your business and you're evaluating like, where do I feel like my experience in my business is really good and where is it lacking, you'll probably be able to identify that if you imagine your business as like a funnel of water, right? Or a pipe of water. And you've got these different blockages along this water pipe. If you have a free-flowing pipe, you have a great experience when they come to the website. Your website is beautiful. Your website's branded well. It's easy to navigate around there. It's easy to customize your order and add to cart. But then between add to cart and you getting your product, it takes 3 months. Well, then all of a sudden there's a blockage. There's not much water getting through that next notch, right? There's a very little amount. And so it takes away from the experience of that person who's now had a really good experience touch point in adding their product to cart and purchasing, but then the after experience, they may feel regret. They may feel like, did I make the right decision? Or on a very micro level, right? You have the experience of making brand content and making content that's authentic. Then you also have, the experience of your ads and how people feel when they watch your ads. Are you, trying to sell them too hard, or are you trying to relate to them? That makes them feel a certain way, which is the experience you're providing to that customer. And so every experience, no matter how big or small, it has an impact on how your customers make decisions. And so if you're not focusing enough on what experiences you're providing from start to finish and even after purchase, well, guess what? Your brand's not going to grow very much, because people remember the things that they experience. And if they experience bad things, they're going to go and find a place to leave a negative review more than a good review. We know this. 2, they're going to not really talk to their friends or family about it because they didn't really have that great of an experience with that brand. And 3, they may not even buy from you again. So your returning customer rate's going to really get hit if you don't focus on this. And so I protect this more than anything, because really it's about the brand look and feel and the experience you provide behind it. A lot of people feel that, they say that, the brand has so many different levels to it, and there's so much depth to brand. And I would say that at the deepest level, the experience is one of those things that has the most impact. And that's what creates people's ability to, or rather, that allows your ability to either your business to grow or to not grow. So experience, like really evaluate what your experience is. Are you providing a product that everyone else sells? Well, guess what? You're not providing a unique experience. They can go get it somewhere else. Are your products commoditized? Can they just go buy them at Walmart or Target? What makes your brand and your product's different? What does your experience offer that other people don't? This is very important, and this applies in every of these other areas that we're talking about here. So, number 3, experience. Secret number 4, let's dive into this. Back-end revenue. Back-end revenue. Okay. So, many of you obviously are focused on trying to convert ads profitably, right? We're all very familiar with ROAS. We're all very familiar with how this works. And, one of the things that I see from businesses who are really trying to scale is that they can't scale profitably. They can spend, let's say, maybe a couple $100 a day. But when they start getting to like thousands of dollars a day, it's very hard for them to maintain that profitability. Now, we know there's a diminishing return on running ads and not being able to convert at a higher rate, but there's a level of understanding the funnel that your customer is going through, right? A little bit about the experience we just talked about. If the back-end revenue is not being focused on enough, then you're not going to be able to continue scaling the business, which that means that your competitors are then going to outcompete you when they're bidding for ads, right? They're going to be able to spend more to acquire a customer because you can't afford it. Now, if you have back-end revenue set up, back-end revenue systems in place, like for example, email and SMS, and you've got even identity recovery on websites is being able to pick up people's information who visit your website, who've opted into other marketing platforms and use that. If you've got kind of, good upsell or downsell products, or you've got, different sequences that you can use to continue getting more of value out of a customer, then you're going to end up being able to continue to be more profitable to spend more in order to scale. So right now, like a lot of the times I've found it in our business too, is that like sometimes those areas kind of lack. And what I've noticed is that I've taken more of a focus on the email and SMS side of things specifically and getting more granular, not just running campaigns, not just running the basics, but like really learning how to do this properly. So a few things that you can do is the identity recovery. There's a few different brands that offer this. There's also, conversational SMS using AI. You can actually have AI have conversations with your customers to help close abandoned cart sequence or abandoned cart deals with potential customers. You can set up, different flows within your email sequences in order to get people to convert. So, not only just have an abandoned cart, but there's a cart abandonment sequence you can have where you're offering different products. You can create different segments of people who, may fall into certain, parameters that you could send specific marketing to be a bit more specific to them. And so really my whole point here is that if you aren't focusing on that back-end revenue, it's going to really hurt you when you try to scale more. And maybe you're stuck in this place where like every time you try and spend more, you just can't be profitable with it. You can't maintain that return that you need in order to be above your break even or at your target ROAS, right? Or your target CPA. So this is very important. And I find that the experience and like what you provide at a brand level, the look and feel and the experience, and people like wanting to talk about your brand and wanting to say, hey, like go tell their friend because they had an amazing experience, right? Like there's a reason that we spent all this time developing our packaging, and there's a reason that we spent more money on our packaging when most people would look at that and think that's a waste of money. Why are you spending 5 times more on your packaging than every other company? Well, it's because the exact reason that makes you stand out. It makes you provide a wow experience that they can't help but pick up their phone and take a photo or a video of the product that they just received from this company they've never heard of and they got introduced to online, right? That is the impact that you can have with experience. So with this back-end revenue, you can compound that with experience, but also with follow-up sequences where maybe you have a refer a friend program, right? Where if you are providing that experience, have a refer a friend program, you can create a whole like loyalty program out of it too, where like if you refer 5 friends, you get X credits or whatever the case may be, right? But my point here is that in order to scale, you have to be focused on the back-end revenue, because if you don't, you're going to hit a point where you just can't spend anymore. And prices on ads are getting more and more expensive these days. And if you're not using platforms like TikTok, like it gets very hard. If you're not making content for your own brand, it gets very hard to scale. And those are your competitive advantages. That's how you stand out amongst your competition. And if you do that, then it makes it easier to scale. Like if you just try and do everything that everyone else is doing, you're going to constantly feel like you're fighting an uphill battle. How would it feel to be running your business where you feel like you're running downhill and you can't even keep up with the orders? That's what we experienced in 2023. That's why I said, in another video, I said that, we had probably half as much revenue in 2024 during the Q4 period than we did in 2023 because we got so overwhelmed with orders that we couldn't even manage it. We couldn't even hire fast enough to keep up with the orders. So like my point here is that if you want to grow and if you want to scale and you want to run downhill rather than push the rock up the hill, be focused on these things. I'm telling you, from my experience, this is what I've seen. And I don't just run this brand. There's other brands that I manage and run, and I've seen this time and time again. People do not do this enough. So back-end revenue, very important. And now for our fifth and final point, if you guys have been enjoying this video so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have plenty more videos. We talk about scaling. We talk about how to utilize AI, and how to really grow and scale your e-commerce company. So let me know if you have any thoughts or questions down below. We can, make some more content on it, but make sure you subscribe. So last and final tip here, number 5, is ad repurposing. Now, ad repurposing has been so instrumental for us and has been a very high leverage task for us in order to capitalize on the ads that we're running. So we take the same video content that we're running on TikTok and we repurpose it on Meta. We add primary text, headlines, and all that, and run the same creative. And what we found is that the creatives that run well on TikTok typically do really well on Meta as well. So you can add in addition to the campaigns that you're already running on Meta and add some content. So when you look back at the full picture here and you look at TikTok as your primary focus is when you're scaling, TikTok Shop, you can basically have affiliates and content creators make content for you, get approval to run that content, and then you've got that content to run over on Meta. Well, guess what you just created? You've created this endless flywheel of content that you don't have to pay $200 for, $100 a video. You only have to pay cost of a sample. Your COGS is what you pay for a video for affiliate to make a piece of content for you on TikTok, right? $5, $6, $7, $2, right? That's it. So the ads repurposing strategy has been responsible for generating us a lot of money at a very high return. You can see here that we did 6 ROAS at $115,000 in purchase conversion value, right? Like, this is just one example of an account. So these have been my 5 scaling secrets from my own experience on exactly what has worked for us. I really hope that this information has been valuable to you. And if you have learned something or you have a question, please leave that down below in the comments. One of the tools that we utilize here in this back-end revenue section that I highly recommend that you can put on autopilot for your business is called TxtCart. It's a conversational SMS that uses AI to help have conversations with your customers and potential customers to help you close more revenue. So I highly recommend you check out TxtCart down below as well. 14-day free trial with $1,000 in SMS credits. You don't really have anything to lose because you don't even need to put your credit card in. And this is something that really helped us generate a few $1,000s just in the trial to help us justify kind of continuing on that plan. So hopefully this has been valuable for you. Really appreciate your time. Really enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next video.